Welcome to Secura Law Experience. I'm Luis Elizalde, founder of Secura Law. I'm here with
Eduardo Beauregard. Hey guys, good morning. Today we have a very special guest. He's an old friend from here. His name is Asael Torres. We're gonna let him introduce himself.
Welcome.
Okay, well, thank you. My name is Asael Torres. My agency's name is Riviera Maya Realtor. I've been here in the area for quite a while. Well, 10 years. It's been 10 years.
Wow, 10 years.
So I've been here in Riviera Maya.
I think we know we met in that moment because in this year, Secura Law is gonna have 10 years. What day? In 9 days.
In
9 days it's gonna be 10 years exactly when we opened Secura Law. And I remember that I know you. It was the first client when I know you. It was Patrick, I think, in Tendenza, I think it was.
Okay, could be. Yeah.
I think so. Not
This was
sure,
one of the first deals that I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You have the seller, and my client with the buyer, and I think not sure. I don't remember exactly, but I remember your name in that moment. 10 years ago.
10 years.
Wow.
That begs the question: where were you in that moment? With who you started working here?
Doesn't matter.
That time, actually, I started in November 2014. So and it was around that time that we did that deal. It was December. I started with Top Mexico.
You started
there as a sales coordinator.
Nice.
So that's where I began my career here in Mexico.
But that means that you already had experience.
Oh yeah, I had experience because I worked as a mortgage broker in the United States.
Oh, nice.
In
What is
Milwaukee,
that?
in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
But what is a mortgage broker?
Mortgage broker. I used to give loans for purchasing and refinancing property.
And it's like the same one that we have here, like, for example, that they came and say, okay, give me everything, and I go to the bank and I help you. Or you study the client, meaning, hey, what is your credit? I think you have some points in the United States, something like that.
No, there's no point system like it is here in Mexico.
Okay.
I mean, there's credit scores.
Yeah, exactly.
The credit score. Yeah. I thought you were talking about Infonavit.
Yeah, no.
With the point system over there. No, they don't.
It's not like
they
that.
don't have that. They don't have that. They don't have over there. But no, basically, for instance, for purchasing, I will get a client. I will run their pre-approval, run their credit, look at their finances, and then see which mortgage bank or which bank will give them
The best.
the best interest rate and with the best amortization.
Okay.
Which sometimes some clients will rather pick 30 years over 25 or 20. So that's how that was. And then for refinance, if you had a property and you had equity in your property, then they will come to me to pull some equity out, and then some people will use it for different things, like paying debt, buying a car.
Kind of thing.
Reducing the rate,
Makes sense.
going from an arm rate to a fixed rate. So there were various reasons for people to refinance their house.
That's something good in that system. But now that you are here in Mexico and you are more in the other side, that's selling and getting clients for buy properties, do you think it's better, the thing that you are doing right now, or it was better your old life?
Both are good in a sense. Like, for instance, for mortgages, during my time that I was doing them, I was able to help people get their first house.
That's good.
And back then, the lenders would just give anybody pretty much a loan with the lowest credit scores, with collections, with everything. They'll put them in a bad situation where, they will put them, the best they'll qualify for, it will be like a 2-year arm, which means that, okay, yes, I'm going to give you a loan, but your interest rate is going to be fixed only for 2 years. After 2 years, then it can go up as high as 15-16%, depending on the lender.
Okay.
But what I was able to do is that I got him the first house, and within a year, I was able to help him fix their credit, refinance their house, and then put them in a fixed rate for a 30-year fix.
Okay.
So I would say that I had a lot of success with clients because they did follow the structure for them to be able to be on a fixed rate and not have the risk of losing their house if they went into an arm rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the beginning of that, if you don't have the credit score to get a fixed rate, that's the only chance.
That was the only
you
chance. Yeah.
have to get a loan, basically.
Yep.
So you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yep.
But after a year, you could
I was able to get
put them
to
in
a
the path
point.
to fix
Increase
that
the credit
issue.
scores, get their income right, not erase some collections, but like pay some collections so they can be off their credit, and that will increase their credit scores. And with a better credit score, they can get a better interest rate, and a fixed rate. So
That's good.
That was like the main thing. So I was able to help people with that. It was satisfying. And then here, I think I've helped more clients that want to live here part-time or full-time.
We're talking vacational property rate,
Vacation? No.
most likely.
Snowbirds?
Or
No, how
second
do you
home?
say that?
Huh?
There is a phrase as snowbirds or something.
Snowbirds.
Yeah.
Yeah, snowbirds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been able to help clients, achieve kind of like their retirement dream,
Good.
and it's more than investing. I've helped clients, with their purchasing property for investment only, but I think majority and the most success I've had is with retirees. Retirees.
So you are creating dreams. You are getting the dream for your
helping
client.
them.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
helping them achieve their dream of retiring.
That's good.
In a nice area with nice weather, with nice beaches, nice people. They fall in love with the culture, so that helps a lot. I'd rather than selling them a place, I sell them Riviera Maya.
Of course.
What we can do here, how we live, and then after that, then comes the place.
That's good.
I see what they're looking for, and then I get them. Not exactly, but close to what they're looking for, because you're not gonna be able to find exactly what people. I mean, sometimes yes, it fits in all the right boxes, but maybe we're missing one box, one check.
Maybe there is a misunderstood, and you're gonna let me know, because we are normally everything related to legal documents, closing, and everything about legal,
Mm-hmm.
But more in the thing when they are looking for a property, I think there is a misunderstood that Mexico is very cheap. It's cheap in some points,
Mm-hmm.
but for example, a home or a house beachfront, maybe they are thinking, okay, with 100,000 I'm gonna get it. Is real that, because it's an idea that I have, but possible I'm totally wrong. So they tell you, hey, I wanna have beachfront, and I only have 2,000.
Yeah.
Is that happen?
It does happen.
Okay.
You, from time to time, you get a client inquiring about a beachfront property at budget 150,000, which not in this area.
Or
In which area?
I don't know.
or a beachfront property in Tulum.
In Tulum? Oh, yeah.
No.
Which
Exist.
does
No,
not
there's no
exist.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but, like, for instance, comparing markets, I think you can find some more affordable beachfront property, like in the peninsula, like Yucatan area.
Yucatan area.
Okay.
I mean, they're older houses, much older than
Yes.
what we have here, but they're not in the millions of dollars. Over there, they're a little more affordable.
So your company also in Merida, or you have knowledge?
No, I have knowledge of
Good.
Merida, but I haven't really, push the Merida market. Just driving from here to Merida, it's
Yeah.
it's be 4 or 5 hours.
And at the end is location.
Yeah,
location.
location, yeah.
So if you are here, you're gonna get the best deals for your clients here, because you are living here, of course, and you are involved of all this experience, or it's not that you are selling, you are creating for them this experience to live here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
It not makes sense that you are selling something in Merida, but you're not living in Merida.
Yeah, no, and the people know, they know where they want to be. If you offer them, let's say Campeche, they're like, well, no, I came to Riviera Maya, because they already studied, they already did the homework,
Definitely.
And they can say that to their families. I'm in Riviera Maya. That kind of thing.
It's a nice area with nice weather.
Definitely. And I've seen cases of clients that come down and they're looking where to invest to retire. And what I've noticed is that people that don't want to give up the big city life go strictly to Merida. I've seen a lot of foreigners, Americans, living there. Now, people that really want to run away from that hectic lifestyle and they just want a calm down place, because we're a city, but not really a big city. We're more in the town city area.
I feel more
between.
like big town could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So they have the beach right in front of them.
Mhm.
They got beautiful residential places like Playa Car, very close to Portaventuras, and they got like the best of both worlds. So
Yeah.
that's what I see where the dichotomy is, whether they want to still live in the big city or they want to like just a quiet place.
Yeah, I think most of my clients have been wanting to have a quiet place, but not too quiet.
Okay, that's good. That's
You
good.
know,
Okay.
not too quiet. So, anything between Puerto Morelos to, I would say, Tanca Bay,
Okay.
it's a good area.
But Tanca is expensive.
Tanca is expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, everything is beachfront. So, over there.
Yeah, over $1 million.
Yeah.
That would
over $1 million.
be Bahia Soliman, right?
By
Can
Soliman,
one, no?
Tanca Bay, all,
Yeah.
all that area, right before you get to Tulum.
Yeah.
That's where that
Nice.
is. Pretty area,
Yes.
They have nice caletas over there.
Pretty. My understanding is like they're like mansions, because I've been there going to Bahia Soliman, and you see huge
They're
houses.
huge houses.
Oh my God! Yeah, and beautiful houses.
Oh, yeah.
Properties more than $2 million. It's
Yeah.
dollars, of course.
Yes.
And it's amazing. The last one that I saw, no, it wasn't the last one. One previous, it was a house that has like, I don't know, open ceiling to 3 floors.
Oh, really?
Directly
Oh, okay.
to the ocean,
Uh-huh.
ocean view. It's amazing. They didn't have beach,
Mhm.
but they have like a big pool directly that.
On top of it.
Yeah,
On the
oh my
rock.
God,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
beautiful, and they have from the third floor like a waterfall directly to the pool.
Oh wow!
Crazy,
Yeah,
crazy.
those are some
That's
nice
the life.
houses.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But they built it. That client, they built the house, and it was good for them because, of course, they can sell it right now for I think $3 million. But at the beginning, I didn't think that they expend that
No.
amount. It's
And that's other type of clients, right? There's clients that really want to
Yeah.
get just the land,
Yeah.
so they can.
That's
Start building.
that's like when I was saying, like, I get them what they're looking for, but sometimes not all the boxes are checked. If the client doesn't seem to like any of the properties that we shown them, they opt to build their own house with they customize it.
Of course.
They customize it to their needs, and that will definitely check all the boxes.
Yeah, and that also begs the question: since you come from the U.S.
Mhm.
and you've worked with people also from the U.S. and now you still work with them, but here, how do you manage the culture shock and the impression that the closing cost here causes to them?
Okay.
That's a very
It's-
tricky question, but it's a good one.
It's a tricky question. Yeah, as well, in the States, when you purchase a property, there's closing cost involved. And oftentimes you can negotiate for the seller to pay partially the closing cost or the whole closing
Would
cost.
you say half and half, or
Or full. You can
The
put that
seller.
into negotiation. Yeah, but that's how it was, back when I was mortgage broker between 2001 and 2011. Things obviously changed during the years, but still, that's possible. Here, I explained it to them in a way they'll understand it, and they know that, the closing costs in here are necessary. 3% is going to go to the acquisition property taxes. You
Yeah.
have to pay it.
there's no way around
There's
it?
no way around it. But, in return, you're not going to be paying high property taxes throughout the years that you own the property.
that's a huge
So,
difference. I think
It's a huge difference.
that's the most important, that we can talk to the client and explain to them exactly that they see all the time crazy closing costs for
Mhm.
them. They are thinking maybe it's going to be 6%, 7%, 8%, and when the property is really, really low, it could go until 10%.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But as you said, the property tax and all, I think the services are also very cheap. The electric bill could be the one that is most expensive, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's that expensive that in US. I'm not sure.
It varies, depending on the area too.
Exactly.
But still, like, if you tell the client, oh, well, you're going to be paying for, let's say, a 2-bedroom, 1,200 square foot condo, you're gonna be paying anywhere between 150 to maybe 300 US.
Imagine that.
If you take care of the electricity, they're okay with it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, but with the closing costs, yeah, that's what I tell them. 3% for property acquisition tax. There's no way around it. About 2 to 2.5% for the notary, which is I give them the explanation of why the notary here
It's
is
very
more
different.
expensive than in the States, because over
Yeah.
there in the States they can go to a bank, they can get it for free if they have a bank account, or maybe the notary will charge you $50 or $150 just to put their
stamp.
seal.
Yeah, exactly.
But in here, I explain to them
we're
why.
talking thousands.
Yeah, it's a different type of notary.
Yeah.
And then obviously the bank trust,
Yes.
that it's highly needed. Well, it's needed for them to be able to own property here. So once you give them that explanation and they see that, this is not really paying you or me or anybody 6%, 7% for the services, then they're like, oh, it makes sense.
Makes sense.
It makes sense to them.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Yeah.
but that gets me going on. If we pay 3% acquisition tax here only at purchase, what I know that depends on state and each municipality or county.
Mm-hmm.
Since you live there, how much do they pay for property tax every year? We're talking 3% also,
No.
or more?
No, more like
No, every year.
No, per year it's around 1% of the purchase price, right? Of the
I couldn't tell you. I mean, for an example that I could remember, let's say, for instance, for a property that's 200,000, your taxes are going to be anywhere between 3,500 to about $5,000 per year,
depend the area.
depending
Yeah.
on the area.
Yeah, could be
the
good.
county.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there's divided by counties. And
No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
For
crazy.
us, that would be paying closing costs every year,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, or a little more.
And-
It's
and
crazy. It's
That's
crazy.
a ton of money.
Yeah.
The property tax is amazing.
It's much
Too
higher.
high,
So
too
when
high.
you're telling me here, like the easiest example that I can give somebody is, you know what, for every 100,000, you're gonna be paying about $90 per year.
You can do it really easy. You got
Is
the
it
purchase
0.10?
price,
Uh-huh.
0.0019. If you do that,
0019?
it's
Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
So I think it's gonna change next year,
No way.
but we will let you know. Not the percentage, but the property tax, because used to be, when I remember 10 years ago, it was 0.0017, and now it's 0.0019. We're talking about
Okay.
0.0002% that
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too much,
Yeah.
So at the end, the property tax is really cheap, and if you pay per advance, you have the
then you get the discount. You get the 25% discount.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You can do the normal question that we always do.
Well,
Be prepared. It's a hard question.
Okay.
Okay.
all right.
it's a curveball.
It's a curveball. Okay.
We like to ask guests to share, because the podcast is called Sequoia Experience.
Mhm.
We like to share experiences. So we
Ah.
always ask, what about, or if you could tell us or share an experience that you have, a funny one, a bad one, a good one, from your first closings, or the one that you remember the most.
The one that you
Here.
run.
In here.
Yeah.
Oof.
Whatever. One experience that you feel like, oh, I can tell this one.
Mhm.
Or the one that you cannot tell, please don't.
I think a funny experience was that obviously I met you a while back,
Mm-hmm.
and then playing American football with Eduardo. I didn't know he worked here. And all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, you work there. Oh yeah, well, I'm thinking, well, we're gonna do business, a lot of business,
In and out the field.
and in and out of the field. And I think it was funny that I'm thinking, oh yeah, I got my file's gonna go from being last to first every time. No, I was still being put in the line.
Okay.
Just like the process. You gotta be waiting for everybody. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, to me, that was surprising that Eduardo worked here. We share the field now. We share common ground in business. Doing business together. But yeah, it's been fun working with Eduardo, because when you work with somebody so close, it's like you can call them and you can talk like buddy. It's not
Body
just
talk.
business. I mean, it's business, but with
That-
real talk.
But that makes the difference, I'm pretty sure, because years ago it was like the classic phrase that said it's just business, okay, nothing personal. But I think if you leave the personal out, you cannot give the 100% what you are in business or in a kind of relation, business relation, personal relation. If you are really balanced, that is really hard to do it. But in this case, you met him in the football. You know how to play, that kind of little things. And then in business, as you said, you can call him, hey, what's going on? You know, you have the true person talking, not only the attorney that, yeah, whatever, yes, I'm going to have the contract. You know, it's not like that. He can tell you, yes, I will have the contract for sure. You know, there is a little more pressure to be like, because it's from Asael, it has to be perfect, you know? That kind of thing, I feel that nowadays, for business, is better than, it's just a business, nothing personal.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that doesn't work.
Yeah. So it's been a good experience, you know? Like I said, we talk, you know, like good friends, real friends, but it's business at the end.
Yeah, and if the ball's been dropped, we can talk directly, like, hey, screwed up here.
How we're gonna fix it?
And
problem solving skills, you know, kicking right away.
The communication is the most important. You know, it's the way that you create relation, that you have with your client, that your client trusts on you, because the communication is open all the time, and that's really good. But I think that you gave us a really good response about Eduardo and the relation, but not your experience.
My experience. Okay.
No, any experience that you may have that you remember
It's
right
just,
now.
I can't really recall, like...
Something funny that happened, like right before the closing, money wasn't in the escrow, keys, or property wasn't ready to be delivered, and you needed to... Because that happens.
Yeah, everything has how do you say it?
Worked out just fine?
Yeah, everything, like, you know, all the kinks get fixed throughout the process of closing, you know. So by the time we get to closing, then there's really nothing that...
I think those things happen when you don't communicate properly before and you let these kind of things slip.
Yeah.
And then when you get there, it turns out that, hey, nobody addressed this matter, so what we're going to do.
Yeah, that's, I think... Well, it's when I used to be the mortgage broker. I mean, dealing with underwriting was a pain in the butt. You know, like something will pop up throughout the whole process of getting the loan. So fixing all of that to get to closing was always key. You know, you want to be at closing, not having to deal with anything that was left behind. You know, not even one thing. And over here, I think that's the main thing that I've do with Eduardo or any of the attorneys that, you know, I've been assigned to, is that we cover all the bases prior we get to the closing. Because I don't want to be at closing, hey, you forgot this document, hey, you know, it's, you know, it looks bad on all of us. So, and I think, you know, the best thing is to under promise and over deliver to the client, you know, at the end of the day. And if you do a good work, you know, they're going to be happy.
You know what? I think that you just say something really, really good, because you are in the process. You know, there is brokers sometimes that they just leave the client. Hey, yes, here is the client and whatever.
Oh, yeah, here's the attorney.
Yeah, exactly. And he never appeared. You know, until where is my commission? And I feel that, like, the experience that we have with you is that you are not like pushing all the time, like, hey, what's going on? Like, that you have anxious. How do you say that?
Anxious.
Yeah, you're not that. Like you're not like that. You're only looking to have the communication between us, client. You know, you are all the time on that, and that is really good for your client and to make the closing smoother. Sometimes there is a lot of bumps during a closing process, but you leave us to work, but you are aware of that kind of bumps, and that's really good. You know, it's good for your clients because the client is trusting you, your criteria. So that's good.
It's not only me. I mean, it's you guys too, because cultural, you know, people from the U.S. and Canada, they see an attorney as the one that's going to protect them. You know, they're the ones that are looking for their best interests, and they put the whole trust on them. And you know, me being their agent, you know, okay, this is the guys that I like to work with. And now the client is putting the trust on both of us. So if your
Exactly.
attorney dropped the ball, then that's making me look bad because I refer you here. You know, I said
Exactly.
you work good, so we have to work good.
We're pushing towards the same goal
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And something that you mentioned that is very true is that culturally, people from the US and Canada, they really go through the process of hiring attorneys as a prevention move.
Good.
In
Yes.
case
Our
something
culture
happens.
down here is the opposite.
It's the opposite.
We
Yeah,
don't go to
yeah.
an attorney until
Yeah.
we're already into trouble.
And they think the notary public is their attorney. That's something.
Oh,
And
it's-
in the
yeah,
law
yeah.
is in the notary public law, is very very specific, saying that the notary has obligation to review all the documents that he receives to be that everything is clear. Okay, but what happens if that documents are not, or that documents are fake? For him, he looks certificate of no lien. Okay, everything looks good because he have it, but he didn't do the process to get it. You know, that kind of
Yeah.
little thing that the client sometimes, as you said, the culture here in Mexico, they believe that the notary public is their attorney or the one that is going to represent them. We already have experience
Yeah.
with that kind of clients.
Situations, yeah.
The situation, exactly. But when you ask directly to the notary, are you going to represent me? They say, no, I'm
Yeah, they're a
just...
neutral party, right? At the
They
end.
have
It's
to.
a
Yeah.
conflict of interest.
Exactly,
They're
they
only
have
there
to.
prove and process the convey of property from the seller to the buyer. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, it's public faith to see that, but
Yeah.
that's the thing that culturally we
Yeah.
don't have, sadly. But it's good for American Canadians or foreign that they hire an attorney because they, at the end, we are looking for them. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
something happens, who is responsible? If
Yeah.
you go with the notary public,
Oh yeah. Then
I'm not saying nothing bad with the notary. It's just the law. You know, you are
just how they
you are
operate
neutral. But here at the end, the responsible is gonna be us. You know,
Yeah.
they have an agreement with us. They have pay fees to us. So if something happens, they can sue us. You
Yeah.
know, it's something
Yeah.
that normally no one see that, and it's very important that the clients know.
Yeah, no, that's, I would recommend clients to hire an attorney. You know, you want to cover all the bases, and the attorney is gonna make sure that the title search is done properly, and then more
The
importantly,
contract is reviewed.
yeah, like the due diligence and the contract, because sometimes they're lopsided. You know,
Sometimes.
co favor the seller, you know, over the
Yeah.
buyer, and vice versa. You know, so in that sense, yeah, it's a must-have to have an attorney, and it's not expensive, like in my opinion, like it is in the States.
Totally.
They,
You know,
they charge by
it's-
hour, right?
Yeah. And here, what I've noticed is, you know, either a set fee or less, or 1% or less than 1% of the purchase price. Which is,
Has to be a fixed rate. I used to work on a law firm that it was like per hour, and I realized that
On a 6-month closing, my God.
not that thing. The problem was from me when I saw that, and I realized that it was like, okay, how much is gonna be? How many hours? It was 4 hours because it was really smooth closing. 4 hours, really 4 hours? Let's put 8. And you say, what's going on? Because you create your own time, of course. And
Yeah.
you say, okay, in this contract, it was 2 hours. I spoke with the trustee bank, and I went to the notary public to sign the title. Okay, 4 hours. When you deliver that, and they charge to the client 8 hours, and when I saw that, I said, no, this is not good. In some point, you're gonna realize that that's not good. So
Yeah.
the better is that you make a fixed rate. And you work for that fixed rate.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's my idea of the way that we are working since 10 years ago. So, and it's better for the client because they avoid surprises at the end.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Imagine at the end, okay, my fees of 10,000. What?
Yeah, because one of the philosophies that we have here is that we don't want to give them surprises. Therefore, the closing cost that we give them, we keep that promise, if you will.
Yeah.
Because it sucks that you have a budget, you agree to a closing cost, and then you come to the time of the closing, and hey,
By the way, you
Guess
owe
what?
another.
normally,
We worked additional
Yeah.
additional hours on this
No.
one.
yeah, exactly. No, but sadly, sometimes if we gave a quote, for example, normally that's happened at the end of the year. If they are looking at property around November, and they're gonna close on January or February, always every year there is a little change on the taxes.
Yeah.
So we have to explain that to the client, because maybe the closing cost was 10,000 and at the end it's gonna be 10,200. Something like that, because the little changes, and it's not a big surprise. But we also try to prevent the client, say, hey, because you are looking the property, this is an estimate. Almost if we are going to close before the end of the year, it's going to be the same. In the next year, the taxes is going to change a little bit, of the rights, the fees. For example, the
Public registry one.
public registry. 10 years ago, it was 3,000 pesos to record a title.
6,000.
Almost seven.
6,500.
So in 10 years, it doubled. But it was because every year it's like 400 pesos, 500 pesos, the change, So it's the little thing that we prevent to the client. We always explain to the client, it's going to be a little change at the end of the year.
And that's something we learned from experience, because back in the day, where I'm pretty sure you know this, there was a huge booming for property in pre-sale here in Playa del Carmen and Tulum. So a lot of the inventory was that. So we used to hand out closing costs for pre-closing
per pre-sale,
and for pre-sales, and in paper it used to take 2 years for that to be completed, but in reality took 4-5 years. And then when the closing came, we ended up like with horrible closing costs, not updated, and that's when you have to be like, hey, remember these closing costs were from 2014, it's now 2018. So the municipality changed so you have to explain to them and walk through them, like, hey, there was this bill in the city hall and they changed it, and then 2 years after they changed it, so it went from 2% now to 3%.
To 3%,
that moment was really crazy for client, for buyer, for brokers, for attorneys, for notary public. When they changed from 2 to 3%, it was crazy that moment, because you were ready to close. You are looking on broker commission, notary public fees, attorney's fees. You are looking almost there, and they say no, it's 1% more, and they don't want to sign. Oh my God!
And that 1% could be like 100. I mean, it's $1,000, $2,000, which is a lot, right?
Or more, and that depends on the property. So it's crazy. It's crazy. How do you feel it? Do you like the podcast? It was good.
It's nice. I like it.
Yeah?
I like it.
Do you think it's gonna be more intense or something? No, the idea is to have a conversation between friends.
I like it.
Yeah,
passing knowledge.
Exactly. and the point here is to give you guys a platform, or us, everyone in this business, to reach out people that are, inquiring in what's it like to invest in Mexico or in this area. So that's why we're going to put all your information here somewhere, so they can click on it, go to your webpage and look at your company.
Look, for Asael, they have to look for Asael.
Look for Alex.
Yeah, that's one thing. My name is Asael, but normally, I go by the nickname of Alex. My name is hard for Americans to pronounce.
Okay. That's good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, and oftentimes they cannot pronounce it, so obviously they're not gonna remember it. So Alex, just in case.
Remember, of course.
that happened. When we were working on a client that we're about to close, and I received an email from an Alex. I said, hey, who's Alex? It's me.
Right? Yeah.
I got it.
And that actually, the funny story is that nickname actually happened when I started as a loan officer in the mortgage brokerage. The administrator, obviously we get phone calls and then you get voiced in, and she couldn't say my name. So she just went, hey, somebody get Alex. And then that's how I started back in 2001.
And it stuck.
And it stuck.
Oh.
Yeah, because, it's, even like on the phone, sometimes when I'm talking to clients, like, hey, what's your name? Asael. Can you say it again?
Alex.
Asael. What? Can you say it again, please? Asael. And they're like, just call me Alex.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's a lot easier.
Okay.
So in my name,
you have more than 20 years with Alex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
good. That's
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
I
that.
should register it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
So, and the company name is
Riviera Maya Realtor.
awesome.
Nice and
awesome.
simple, easy to remember.
You have Instagram. You're gonna have it.
You know, I do have Facebook. I do have LinkedIn.
Okay, good.
Insta, I'm just diving into it.
Okay,
it hasn't
good.
been, you know,
That easy.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy. I never used it. Even for personal uses, I never used it. So it's been a slow transition.
Website.
Website www.rivieramayarealtor.com.
Awesome.
So that's, easy to remember.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I have the English platform and then the Mexican platform. The only difference in the link it's you added .mx for
And
the
that's it.
Spanish platform.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Good to
Yeah.
know.
Good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Alex, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
It's a pleasure, and I hope that in a couple of months you come back and talk more about your experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Next time I come back, don't make a coffee so strong because my
getting jitters.
my
You're getting
ADHD
jitters.
is like kicking in big time.
Nah, it's okay. It's okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Bye bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.